Hi everyone, welcome to Fun to Tester. This is the second episode of Testing Gossips. Today our guest is Mr. Brijesh. He is having more than 20 years of experience in testing industry. We are gonna discuss today about his experience, his journey in the testing, what he's thinking about the agile methodology, what is the actual agile and what we are following or most of the industry are following. And we are going to discuss the career path of the tester or some newbie tester, and we are going to discuss about the books and manual versus the automation. That is a hot topic. So let's meet Mr. Bridges.
Hey, finally, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So first of all, welcome to here. And
Thank you.
yeah. So what we are going to do today, we are going to discuss about you spent so many years in testing industry. So we are going
Mhm.
to on journey.
Okay,
We are moving ahead on agile methodologies, certification, and career growth of newbie testers.
okay.
Okay, so I think we can start.
Yes, thank you, Nishant, for first of all inviting me. I must begin by congratulating you for doing such a great work with your YouTube channel. I think you are doing great service to the testing community. So many congratulations to Fund testers and other things that you're doing. I think we need more and more people like you in the industry.
Thanks a lot. Can you share your journey with us? So how you started from beginning?
Yeah, so I began my journey in the year 2000. I started off as a content writer for one of the for one of the testing, not the testing, but computer science institutes who used to publish books, and they used to run these classes and all that. So I used to write content for them, and then did some development work for a few months as a Java developer. And then one fine morning, I was told that I need to do some testing. I had absolutely no clue what it was. So I said, so the person said, no, don't worry, you will learn as you go along. Just get started. And then, as a reference book, Software Engineering by Roger Pressman was the one that was prescribed, saying, okay, you go through this book and you will learn something about, testing. There is some basic fundamentals. And I looked at that and then I said, okay, this gives me a good idea. Let me get started. And since then, it's been 20 years and I'm kind of stuck with, with testing. Uh, Obviously, because I love testing a lot. I'm really passionate about it. I enjoy testing more than anything else. It's a lot of fun. It's not, and over the years, I have learned that it's not just about finding bugs. Earlier, in the beginning of my career, finding bugs used to really excite me. But then, as days have gone by, it's been more about finding out more about the product, learning about it, gathering information, talking to different people. The entire journey is fun, and that's how I've learned that okay, testing. Yeah, of course, you need to find bugs. Of course, that is there, but then don't get stuck with it. That is my message to all the testers. Don't just look at it from a bugs perspective. Look at it from a perspective where you're finding risk. You are, finding more information about the product. You're learning more about the product. You are giving valuable information to the stakeholders who, based on your inputs, will take decisions whether they want to change the product or they want to continue with it or what do they want to do. So that is what testing is all about, and that is my exact message to the fellow testers.
So you have so many interesting posts on LinkedIn, and you are sharing knowledge every day. I watch so many your talks on YouTube on ATA and robotic. Today also I watched some talk on robotic automation. So how are you come up with these ideas? So what inspired you? What will motivate you?
My motivation comes from people. You know, there are a lot of people who ask me good questions. There are a lot of people who have taught me during the course of my journey. I learned testing from my good friend Saptarshi Das. He is a friend. He was once my manager as well. He taught me testing, and I attribute a lot of my success to him because he showed me the way that okay, this is how you do it, and then there was a time where he was my manager as well, so that was a good thing, and I learned a lot from him, and it was fun. So that's where the inspiration started, and then I started following a lot of people. I started reading a lot about testing. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of conference videos, because going and practically attending each and every conference was difficult. Then I said, okay, I can probably speak out, and I started, talking about it on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and then started getting invited to conferences, meetups. Started going there, started interacting with a lot of people, and that's what I would also advise testers to do. I mean, don't just stay focused on your project. Okay, look beyond that. Look at learning from other people. Look at what other people are doing, what your colleagues are doing, what developers are doing, what other testers are doing. Talk to other testers. Go and attend meetups. Okay, speak out. If you have a situation, if you are going through a problem at work, a challenge, you're not able to solve a testing problem or any problem as such. Talk to people, get the solution. There are people who are going to help you. Okay, and always, if you have an opinion, express it. It is not necessary that every time your opinion has to be vindicated or has to be proved correct. There are times when you will learn, and that's how I learned. Okay, I'll tell you something very interesting. In the year 2005, I was introduced to Agile, and Agile, of course, it started up in the late 1990s, and then 2005 was when Scrum was picking up, and things were becoming very important from a Scrum perspective. People were talking a lot about Scrum perspective, and those days, from a testing perspective, we used to think about independent verification and validation. That was the thing. Okay, you whatever, and I I had just learned about ISTQB, started learning about it, started reading about it. And in the book, they speak a lot about IVNV. And IVNV model was something that companies also used to approach their customers with. They would sell, saying, okay, we will do independent testing for you, blah, blah. And so I was a strong believer that we needed an independent testing team for doing whatever we wanted to do. And testing should be, they call the shots. They can stop releases, and they have so much power, and all I used to believe. And then suddenly comes Scrum and Agile, and they say, okay, testers and developers are working together, and it's one team, and it's known as development team. And I was like, wait a minute. So what is the role of a tester again? So I was like, nah, this is not going to work. So I was a skeptic of Agile back in the day in 2005, but then I had some mentoring there as well, and I was fortunate to work with this gentleman called Dinesh Madne, who is a big name in the Agile world, especially in India. He is a speaker in many conferences, talks, does a lot of workshops with people. He introduced me to Agile, and he said, "Come attend some conferences, go through some workshops, learn a little more." And he pushed me towards it, and we used to have very engaging discussions. Okay, and that's how I started learning. And today, 15 years later, I am a staunch Agile advocate. I'm like, okay, any problem? Why don't you do it in an Agile way? You should be able to solve a problem. So that's how perspectives change. So the motivation comes in from multiple resources, from people. Okay, from people such as you as well. I mean, your channel, people come and express their views. I watched the interview with Sanjay, which you had posted a little while ago. There was a lot of information coming from Sanjay, and Sanjay is, of course, one of the people we all look up to. Okay, yeah, and so there is a lot of inspiration to be found everywhere. You just look around and you will get inspired.
You are going to be a part of any recent conferences. I saw it for TravelCon.
I was going to talk about it in one of my LinkedIn posts, probably today or tomorrow. But since you're bringing it up, I will spill the beans. There are two conferences that are coming up in June, and both of them happen to be on the same dates, 27th and 28th of June, Saturday and Sunday. One is the Tribal Conf by the Test Tribe community, and I think it is an impeccable effort from Mahesh Chikne and his team at the Test Tribe community to put up such a conference. And the biggest highlight of that conference is a dream lineup of speakers who you would want to listen to again and again. They've got so much to share. They, in their lineup, they have got James Bach, they have got Michael Bolton, they have got Pradeep Soundararajan, they have got Santosh Tupar, they have got Ajay Balamuragadas. I mean, I may miss out a lot of. Mike Talks is there. Okay, so I may miss out a lot of names. Soumya Mukherjee is there. Ramit Kaul is there. So alongside these speakers, when Mahesh had not disclosed his when he was talking to me about this conference, I also didn't ask him who are the other speakers. He also, we never got into that discussion. And once he drew the list and he put the picture, and I was like, wow, this is some company. I mean, it is only a dream to listen to such speakers, and all your dream speakers, and you are listed as a speaker alongside them. So that is going to be awesome. That's on the 28th of June. That's where I'm going to be speaking. The other conference is known as the DevOps Alliance conference. That is conference by ATA and DevOps Alliance. That's the DOPA 2020 conference. It is the continuation of their series of conferences that they have been having. They also have a very good lineup of speakers, especially from the Agile and DevOps world. Okay, we have got speakers. We have got panelists such as Ashish Mishra. We have got Masa Meda and a lot of other speakers as well who are doing a lot of work in Agile and DevOps industries. And again, to be listed alongside them is a big privilege for me. So there I'll be speaking on the 27th, and this one I'll be speaking on the 28th. So it's going to be fun speaking in two conferences in the same weekend. I think it'll be worthwhile spending that weekend in great company.
Right. So you talked so many times on testing and agile. So nowadays, for me or for most of us, what they are thinking or what most of us thinking is agile is only updating the Scrum board, Jira meeting, and that's all about the agile.
I completely agree with you. I mean, so there are a few things that I want to talk about when I talk about agile. Okay, so the moment I start speaking to somebody about agile, the first reaction that comes in is, oh yeah, Scrum. Yeah, okay, we do stand-up meetings, we do retrospective. We are agile. I'm like, okay, and how long is your stand-up meeting again? So they're like, we try to keep it to 15 minutes, but it goes on for 1 hour. that's the kind of answers you get. Well, so if you understand the purpose of every ceremony that you have, in an agile framework, then you will know that how important it is to time box that particular event. If you know the purpose, you know exactly what you're going to do. For example, stand-up meeting. I have attended a lot of stand-up meetings, and they speak about what they have done. Okay, so people tend to give their status. So I have to tell them that no, stand-up meeting is not a status meeting. It is a meeting to plan your activities for that particular day. It is more of a planning meeting. So change your focus, understand the purpose of that meeting. Okay, you do say, okay, yesterday I was doing this, but then the next thing, today I will be focusing on this particular task, and in doing this particular task I have this as an impediment which needs to be resolved. Okay, so that is how you bring it up. So you, once you have your sprint goal defined, you know that okay, sprint has 10 working days, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, so in the 10 working days I am slowly going to distribute my work in such and such manner so that I can achieve uh, my part of that sprint goal. And in doing so, this is how I have distributed my activities every day. And so each day you should have something to talk about, right? And it should be a plan to achieve the ultimate sprint goal that is there. But a lot of people don't do that. And then the next thing that comes is, the moment you start talking about agile, people start talking about scrum. Well, and I keep emphasizing in all my posts on agile that agile is not equal to scrum, or scrum is not equal to agile. Okay, agile is a mindset which involves you to collaborate, which is a cultural thing. Okay, the culture has to be of collaboration, of making sure that your focus is on the working product, of making sure that you give importance to individuals and interactions. Yes, you do want to follow a plan, but you also accommodate changes. Okay, so all of that, and it is a mindset. And as far as Scrum and Kanban and Lean and XP and DSDM or whatever is concerned, they are all frameworks to achieve that goal which you're trying to achieve through Agile. So you need to understand that there is a difference. So and you don't become agile just by following, just by doing Scrum or getting into some Scrum ceremonies or something like that. No, that's not how it works. And if people continue to do so, then it's a bad thing. Another thing, okay, about Agile, no documentation. Very popular thing. Okay, I have not documented anything because Agile says no documentation. Agile does not say no documentation at all. There is nothing like no documentation. Agile says document whatever is necessary. It does not say that you should not document at all. But people take that as an excuse. So my suggestion is go through the Agile manifesto, go through the Agile principles. There are 12 of them. Okay, understand each one of them. And if you have a deep understanding of each one of them, your life will become easy. Okay, it's very important that you implement those things in your day-to-day curriculum. That's what I tell people. And when it comes to testing in Agile, yes, testers play a very important part. You should be more than willing to work with developers. We all talk about breaking the code, okay, breaking the software. Well, yes, breaking the code, yes, breaking the software, but then do it in a constructive way. Sit with the developer, help him understand what you are trying to say. Okay, if there is a bug, explain it to the developer. Okay, work with him. I in fact tell a lot of people it's a good idea to share your test cases with the developer so that they know, okay, this is what you are thinking. Then they will also share their ideas with you, because your goal is to build that software together, right? So why work in totally different directions? You're not going to get a gold medal for logging some 500 bugs or something like that. Okay, even if somebody gives you a medal, it's of no value. Let me be very honest, it's of no value. What is of value is that working software. Once the customer says, that this is a fantastic software, and you know that you have worked on it, you know that you were testing it, and the developer knows that he is the one who's built it, that will be the happiest thing for you. So that's where you have to remember that. But a lot of us, we see small goals, we look at maybe our KRA or maybe appraisal and things like that, and we are focused on that. I think it's important that people change their focus and look at the bigger picture. So yeah.
Are you seeing the certification nowadays? People are doing so many certifications. Now it's the buzzword. People are going with.
Oh wow. Well, certifications. they are good, they are, but I'm not such a big fan, and I'll tell you why. Because a certificate uh, obtained after writing a particular exam or multiple choice exam does not really, you know, uh, mean that you're knowledgeable. Anybody can mug up stuff from a book and go and get a certificate. It does not mean that you're knowledgeable. Okay. What is important is during the course of that certification, if you are studying something, do you understand the concepts that are going behind? Are you willing to implement those at work and do they make a difference? Okay, so the knowledge is much more important than the certificate itself. Okay, I have written about it in my posts. I have mentioned it so many times that yes, people feel good when they get a certificate. Okay, when we were right right during the school days also, if we won a certificate for anything, we would be so happy and show it to our parents and show it to our neighbors and feel good about it. It makes you feel good. Okay, it gives you a sense of achievement. But think for one moment. Okay, I have a certification. Say for example in Agile. Okay, or maybe in automation, maybe in Selenium or something like that. Okay, now that there are many that are available. But am I applying that Selenium knowledge in doing something meaningful? Is that certificate going to give me that satisfaction? It will make me feel happy for some time. Okay, I put it on LinkedIn and I get 500 likes. Yes, that is a good thing. That will make me happy. But is that Selenium knowledge, okay, or that Agile knowledge that certificate says that okay, you are a certified Agile practitioner or you are a Selenium expert. It is certified that you are a certified Selenium expert. Are you really justifying that? Are you able to use that knowledge, that skill that you've obtained in your work, and are you making a difference with that? Ask that question first. If you're looking for momentary happiness, a certification will give you that, but in the long run, it is of no value to me. Okay, I'm being very honest. Okay, I have myself done a few certifications. Okay, I am a ISTQB certified. I did it because I wanted to understand. Okay, people are talking so much about ISTQB certification. What's the big deal? And I went there. I had a multiple choice 40 questions test. I did that, and I was like, "Is that it? What happens to it after that?" And then whatever concepts I had studied, I tried to implement, but then I saw that nobody else is reciprocating. Other testers who got certified are also not talking about it. So for a lot of people, certification is something that goes in their resume and says, okay, I'm certified. And yes, if you are a fresher, if you're applying for a job, it may act as a filter. Okay, because it probably sort of gives you an edge. But then what is the value that you are trying to extract out of that certification? Is that job interview or something that is the ultimate thing, or there's more to it? So people have to think in that direction. So that's what I feel.
I'll put you in one situation. Let's say you are doing something you are working on some project, or you are learning some X thing. Let's say you are learning Java, but few things come new in the industry. Let's say Selenium and Java comes, and JavaScript and Cypress comes to you. So now, let's say you want to move with a new technology, or you will go with the current thing, whatever you are doing. You will be expert in current thing.
Very, very good question, Nishant. My belief is to get your basics right. Okay, if your basics are right, if you are conceptually strong in one particular language, you understand, okay, this is how things are happening. Okay, let's take the example of say for example Java. Okay, if you know that things work in a certain manner in Java, then any other language, becomes fairly easy for you because you know that okay, This is how I'm supposed to do things. Okay, and if there are, yes, there are big differences between certain languages. Okay, for example, if you are looking at simple as at C++ and Java, okay, there is a difference. There is a lot of difference. People will say, okay, both are object oriented and things like that. So yeah, there are common factors. Okay, the object oriented concepts may be common, but then still there are differences. Okay, but then you will, because your basics are strong, it will be easier for you to understand those differences. Now, with those strong basics, if you keep an eye out for modern technology, for things that are coming up new in the market, then your life will become much easier. So I always emphasize, it's not just with programming languages, it is with even with testing concepts. I mean, get your basics right, and that is what I call as test craftsmanship. Okay, test craftsmanship is nothing but the skills that you need to be a good tester. Okay, you must know how to, first of all, apply critical thinking. Apply test design techniques. Come up with strategies to test. All of that, if you know, then your life becomes easy.
Yes.
Okay, you can have, in addition to that, you can have your knowledge on Selenium, knowledge on any other tool, Protractor, Cypress, Test Project, or whatever technology that you're talking about. And then on top of that, if somebody says, okay, now you know automation also, now how do you put the things in DevOps? So if you learn DevOps concepts with the basics, okay, your testing basics are so strong. If you learn DevOps concepts on top of that, you know exactly how things will fit into the scheme, right? You know, okay, if I have to do continuous integration, I have to make sure that, Jenkins is indeed talking to Selenium and making the Selenium scripts run when I say, okay, nightly run is configured, then my Selenium scripts will run through the night, give me the results, which will reflect in my Jenkins again. So next morning, I know what tests have passed, what have failed, and I need to know where to take corrective action. So if you get one thing right, that is the basics, then it becomes very easy. So my answer to your question is focus on the basics, but keep an eye out for modern technology as well. There is one simple message that I want to give all the testers through your channel. Okay, do not distinguish between manual and automation testers.
Yeah,
okay, because in my honest opinion, there is no manual testing, there is no automation testing. It is testing.
yes, correct.
Testing without tools, testing with tools. Somebody wanted to give it a name. Okay, so they gave it a name. Somebody wanted to sell something in the market, so they classified it as manual and automation. Said that automation is superior to manual. That is not the case. That is not at all the case. What is important for you is to understand that it is all testing. The knowledge of automation helps you in becoming more efficient, more effective. And automation is not just restricted to certain tools. Even before the first automation tool, I think it was Windrunner or something like that many years ago, before that came, people used to do automation. Okay, I'll just give you an example, Nishan. So my advice to testers is that, you should not be classifying between manual and automation testing. Because in my honest opinion, they both don't exist. What exists actually is testing, and what is important is to learn the basics, get the basics right, learn how you can test, learn how can you become a better tester, how can you spot risks in the project, how can you spot risks in the product, how can you make sure that you can collaborate better by talking to people, how can you come up with strategies by talking to different people, how can you come up with better tests or test cases, as they say, by applying various test design techniques, learn more about it. Okay, and of course, learn programming, try and understand code. Okay, that will add value to your testing. That will make you a more efficient tester. Always make sure that you try and test better than what you could do it yesterday. If today you are at a certain level, tomorrow make sure that you are a little higher level, a little better as a tester. Always look to improve. We all talk about so many things like, especially continuous integration, continuous deployment.
Yeah.
But I always emphasize on continuous learning. Okay, continuous learning, continuous communication, continuous collaboration, and most importantly, continuous improvement. That is what the focus should be. That is how you will become a better tester. You will contribute towards better products. Products with better quality, and the world will be a better place to live. That's ultimately what we are trying to achieve, right?
Yeah, correct. But nowadays, testers are going here and there, here and there. They are seeing quite confused. So they are not able to decide what to do next, how will be the career path. They should go with manual or security or blah blah blah.
Yeah. So on the career path thing, I think there is a very interesting thing that happened. So about 5 years ago or so, there was a boom in the market. People were talking about COE, testing COE, Center of Excellence. All of a sudden, when Agile and DevOps became so popular, all the COEs went out of the window. Okay, companies started decommissioning the COEs. They said, okay, we do not need COEs as such, because people are talking about decentralized way of testing. You do not need a centralized independent QA team. Testing team is a part of the development team. Testers and developers have to work together. Every project has its own team, and so everything became scattered. And suddenly, what happened was, people, especially testers, they were thinking, okay, so my growth path is kind of fixed. It is a tester, senior tester, test lead, test manager, and then director, and then VP. But then suddenly things change. Okay, suddenly there is no role of a tester. So you don't have a test lead role in an agile team. You don't have a test manager role in an agile team. So testers, they became scared, and there's a lot of discussion that goes on in a lot of groups that I am a part of. People keep talking about it. What to do is the question they ask. Again, the same advice for them: get the basics right. Make sure that you understand what testing is. You can always become a coach. You can always become a tester. You can always become a consultant. Somebody who is giving advice and helping them. Okay, and then the company will say, okay, so how can you help? Well, I can be your test architect. You can say that to customers, right? You can obviously say, okay, you need a good test architecture for your product. I can be that test architect. I can develop a good test architecture for you. Okay, I can become a testing solution architect for you. I can do that role. So if you are working as a consultant, you have much more opportunity. Think of those things. Okay, I am a test coach. I can coach your team in doing better testing. Okay, so it is not that the ultimate growth path is in being a manager or somebody, because I know that a lot of people think that being a manager is like God. Okay, I don't have to do anything. I am just telling people what to do. But that's not the case. That's not true. Okay, that is certainly not true.
Yeah, earlier you told you read so many books, so you can name some books, some testers can read.
See, as far as books are concerned, I would, there are testing books. There are so many testing books. There are some very simple, very short books that that I would suggest. I do not remember the exact name. I think it was 50 Mistakes of My Testing Career, something like that, by Ajay Balamurgadas. Okay, there are a couple more books. I have to look them up. I don't remember them off the top of my head right now.
So,
Um,
okay, no problem. So what we'll do, if you can, yeah, send me some text, then I will add in description so people can go through and read.
yeah, yeah. I will send you the names because I don't have that list by me right now, but I can do some suggestive reading. But more than books, what I suggest is, people get on social media because that is more accessible now.
Yes.
Okay, get on Twitter, follow the testing experts on Twitter. Okay, there is a lot of discussion that happens. Get on, LinkedIn, follow the testing experts on LinkedIn. Again, there is a lot of discussion that is happening, and I think these are all valuable discussions. And I find them of a lot of value because they are small discussions. They For reading a book, you will need considerable amount of concentration, good amount of time to read through it. Unless I was trying to recall the name. I think the one of the most inspiring books I remember now is Buddha in Testing by Pradeep Sundararajan. I mean, that was released recently in March, I think, and I read that book on the same day when it released. In a single day, I've never done it so far. It was so interesting. I just picked that book, started reading, and I finished it in a day. And then I have read it like 6 to 7 times already. And every time I read it, I feel like, okay, I'm learning something new. That is one book that people should read. Okay, people should follow him on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And there is a very interesting story. I think Pradeep doesn't know that in 2010, when I was new to LinkedIn, I used to respond to a lot of posts on testing and things like that, and I used to always get this counter argument or a counter question from this gentleman called Pradeep Sandarajan, and I used to think, who is this guy who is asking such questions? Questions that would be of great value, questions that would make a lot of sense, questions that would make you think, but questions that will be something that will sort of pinch you. Okay, and if you ignore the rest of the valuable things and if you focus on the pinch, then you will not learn. But then when I saw him do it repeatedly, I looked up for him and I saw him, talking about testing on Twitter as well. And he had a blog series. I'm not sure if he still writes for that, called Tester Tested. Uh, that's his Twitter handle as well. And I followed that and started reading his blogs because that was much more easily accessible. And I saw that despite the fact that he's I think at least 5-6 years younger to me. Okay, despite the fact that he is 5-6 years younger to me, has in if number of years of experience has a meaning in the industry, then he has lesser number of years of experience, so to speak, but has volumes of experience in terms of dealing with different situations. Okay, being in tough situations, coming out of it. So a lot of valuable experiences there which he's willing to share. And then I started following him like Eklavya did for Dronacharya, and learned a lot of things without him knowing. And even today, I'm a big fan of him. I have never met him personally, one-on-one. Okay, whatever conversations we've had through social media. Okay, never had a chance of speaking to him, picking up the phone and speaking to him. And he's just an example. Okay, many such people I have only interacted through social media, and I've learned from them, whether it is Michael Bolton. Okay, one small interaction I had with James Park many years ago. Okay, Rahul Verma, he's a great source of inspiration. Okay, with him also, I think it's an online conversation that we had. Okay, but then apart from that, I have met a few people personally. Santosh Tuppad is one of them. Ajay Balamurugdas is one of them. Soumya Mukherjee is another guy. So there are a lot of people whom I've met personally, and what I do is I try to seek to learn from them all the time. It doesn't matter if they are younger or elder to me. It makes no difference. Okay, what I look for is an opportunity to discuss something, to learn something, something new, something different. Okay, they talk about something, I talk about something, then they have their opinion, I have my opinion. It doesn't have to be that our opinions have to be the same. Okay, it doesn't have to be, because every time there is a disagreement, you learn something. Okay, and it may be that you are right and the other person is not right, but then that opinion is also of value. You start thinking, and that is more important. That you think, that you go outside your comfort zone and and look for something which you do not know. Okay, and if you do some research based on what they have said, you will say, ah, okay, you could probably do things that way also. So that those kind of things that come to your mind. So for testers, it is very important that you try and access these people, especially through social media. It is not necessary to meet every individual personally. You could do a lot online. Okay, and a great opportunity of doing that will be through these conferences that are coming up on 27th and 28th. Okay, DOPA is one conference, and the Tribal Conf is another big one. Okay, I think Tribal Conf is absolutely affordable. So is DOPA, but and, if anybody has a challenge in terms of making a payment or getting into those conferences, I'm sure both the groups are very helpful. They will give you ideas and suggestions as to how you can be a part of those conferences. So a suggestion to my testing community is that try and be a part of those conferences. Okay, either of them, whatever you feel, whatever is your area of interest. If you think, okay, Agile and DevOps is of your interest, then go into DOPA. If you think, no, testing concepts, I want to learn more about it, I want to become a better tester, I want to know how the leaders think and what ideas they have and what is their thought process, Tribal Conf is an option for you. So be there, attend, be a part of it. Okay, be a part of it, ask questions, respond to questions, respond to ideas, give out your opinion, because that is what conferences do. Okay, they give you an opportunity to learn, they give you an opportunity to interact, and that way you will, after 27th and 28th, on the 29th of June, you will definitely be a better tester, and that is my guarantee. Okay, once you come out, you will have so many ideas, you will definitely be a better tester. So, I mean, if you think that, okay, both of these conferences are paid and I just can't afford it, stop thinking about it and get in touch with the people. Okay, I'm pretty sure that there are, discounts and coupon codes available for both the conferences, and they should be able to help you. In fact, I just learned that the Tribal Conf, they've opened up their ticketing system based on your affordability. So whatever price you can afford, you can go ahead and purchase a ticket for that. If you think you can pay a better price, then you obviously pay a better price and get that ticket. If you think that you can pay less, then you can pay less and then do it. So both opportunities are there. With DOPA also, there are different discount codes available. So get that, okay, and join that conference as well. So if you are looking to learn more on testing, well, Tribal Conf is the conference for you. If you're looking to learn more about Agile and DevOps, DOPA is the conference for you. And that is 27th and 28th of June. So,
great. So, any final message for fellow testers?
Final message for the testers: keep testing, keep learning. Don't divide manual and automation testing, please. Okay, don't get into any argument with anybody. There is nothing called manual and automation testing. It is all testing. Okay, keep learning. Remember, the continuous improvement is most important. Learn and improve continuously.
Okay, Brijesh, thank you so much. To glad you here. Happy to see you.
Thank you so much, Nishant, for this opportunity. And like I said before, you're doing such a great job for the community. Keep doing what you're doing. Very glad to be a part of this. I would love to see your channel grow, and you passing this message of goodness to all the testers. Thank you so much, Nishant.
Thank you so much, and again, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Nishant.
Yeah, bye.
Good night. Bye bye.